Guys, you have no idea how excited I am right now. This is amazing. I actually found some. I have Yokon right now. This is really awesome, and it represents a lot of Pokemon appreciation for me. Now, it's in a really unusual way, but for some people, Yokon, it's not special. This is not difficult to get at all. All you have to do is go to an Asian supermarket, and boom, you can find this in, like, the treat section or whatever. But for me, it represents something else, because way back when Diamond Pearl, I've always been a Pokemon fan my entire life, but now when it comes to, like, Diamond Pearl, I was waiting for Rotom. Rotom is one of my favorite Pokemon of all time. I was waiting to see it in the anime because, after the whole Porygon kind of debacle, we're not seeing Porygon in the anime too much. But when it comes to Rotom, I was wanting to see how the interaction went because it's a really amazing Ghost-type Pokemon. And the episode didn't disappoint. One of the greatest episodes of Pokemon of all time. But when it comes down to Yokon, this is actually the old Gâteau. Like, it's not Gâteau, that's a French cake, but when in the original, untranslated, unregionalized thing, it's actually Yokon, which is a red bean paste jelly dessert. And I'm super excited to actually have this, because when the episode was coming out, now I need to open it and not get juice everywhere, because it's got some stuff in there, but I'm really excited to eat this for the first time. So when it comes to just Rotom in general, I was waiting for the episode, and they announced it on Cerebi, like, oh, it debuted in Japan, so I was waiting, like, I think 3 months afterwards to watch it. 7 in the morning, Saturday, early morning cartoons, and I stayed up all night. I stayed up all night to watch this random Rotom episode because I thought it'd be amazing. Fortunately, it turned out to be. But in the Japanese episode, it was called Yokon and Rotom. So because of that, I started looking into what Yokon was, and I tried to make my own. So right now, I'm gonna have a taste. Oh my god, that's actually really amazing. Okay, cool. So, the texture and the taste is actually very similar to what I ended up creating, which is not what I expected. I thought I absolutely botched it. I was like finding Americanized recipes and stuff. What I ended up doing was I went to so many convenience stores because it's made out of red bean paste. Well, red bean paste isn't really a thing, or at least I couldn't find it just going like Publix and random supermarkets. So I bought red beans. I started this preparation days in advance. I had to look up how to make the recipe and whatnot. So I think you're supposed to soak them or boil them. I don't remember. But you have to get them soft. Then I put them into our blender. I blended it for like an hour because we had a really junky blender. So I'd have to put in like small batches at a time, try to get it creamy, and then add a little more, and then try to turn it into a paste. And then I boiled it down with gelatin, and I made my own jank form of Yokon. Now, another thing that ended up happening was that I was looking up like an Americanized super sweet version, and it was just mostly like Jello mix recipes and stuff. So I had like half this, which is what it ended up turning out to be. Actually, the texture is like really surprisingly amazing. I can't wait to finish it after this video. I'm not gonna eat on video and stuff, but when it comes to that, I blended it all together. I made this, and then like it almost came out 2 layers because the Jello was less dense. So I had like this rainbow abomination of Jello. I just mixed like all the flavors together to try to get something. And interestingly enough, having a very small amount of the strawberry Jello that like went through with the red bean paste tastes very, very similar. I'm very surprised. Like, I just can't get over that because this is my first time experience, and that's amazing. But it came down that it tasted like you melted an entire bag of gummy worms together, and that was just absolutely terrible. But under that was like a little bit of Yokon from what I actually like processed out of the red beans. And that reminds me of all the other crazy things I've done in Pokemon. Man, that's like the longest segue ever. But when it comes to like crazy things in Pokemon, I want to know what you guys think is the craziest thing you've ever done regarding Pokemon. I mean, I took weeks of understanding Japanese culture just to like watch the well, I didn't watch. Like, I'd always be on the Japanese website like trying to decipher what they were selling at the Pokemon Center. And I was always all about that because I feel that when it comes to Japan, Pokemon had better stuff for the longest time. They still do. Fortunately, now we have like simultaneous releases and stuff, so it has gotten better. But like, I was super involved with the culture, so I was all in. I was playing the Arceus minigame, like you had to go around and find Arceus' plates on the Japanese website. I was negotiating a website I couldn't understand, but I was still having fun doing it. And a lot of other crazy things like that. Whenever there was a Pokemon, like on Cartoon Network, whenever they were debuting a new Pokemon movie, I would bake a cake, and I'd try to design the legendary Pokemon or whatever in frosting to like commemorate it. So I was always making cakes, making treats, trying to get involved with Pokemon, but that's not the craziest thing I've done. I want to know what you guys have done, whether it's in-game, having a grind fest where you didn't sleep for 72 hours, breeding a team or something, or you've just ultimately dumped 999 hours into every Pokemon game you've played like I have. Like, what do you think is the craziest thing? For me, I need to, like, lick this off my hands because it is really sticky. for me, it's, you know, trying to collect every Pokemon Lugia card, no matter how obscure it is, and also just having, like, yeah, look at that, pages of Lugia and Surfing Pikachu. Also trying to have as many things, you know, I have Typhlosion, I have there's Lugia on the water, type thing, so it technically counts right there. Spending my entire allowance, birthday, and Christmas to get the BBB, the Big Blue Bootleg Lugia plush, because I can't afford the original Pokemon. Maybe now I can. Now that I got that YouTube money. Like, comment, subscribe. Yeah, because of that, you know, I have this Lugia plush, and I have all kinds of crazy things. I've made this terrible Lugia costume. I ended up using it for a thumbnail, and I didn't mention in the main video, but that is definitely something I've done. I've made, like 7 Lugia costumes, so I've also been a cringe fest over Pokemon. We have art I've done. I've waited an unholy amount of time. I don't even remember how many hours it was to get Soul Silver for the midnight release at Walmart. When it comes to Pokemon, I've kind of done it all. But when it comes to the craziest thing I've ever come in Pokemon, now my hand's all fuzzy so I can't touch the Yokon. When it comes to the craziest thing I've done when it comes to Pokemon, I think it's quitting all of my jobs to become a PokeTuber. That's my Pokemon's my life. Like, I'm wearing the most rockin' Ancient Mew shirt. Well, the only Ancient Mew shirt, but one of the most rockin' Pokemon shirts ever. You know, Pokemon merchandise, Pokemon tag. It's all Pokemon to me. That's my entire life. No matter where you reach on my desk, you're gonna find a little bit of Pokemon, and like that's not even staged for the episode or for this video or anything. It's just how I am. So it's really, actually, did I even show the cover of this? You know, Dusclops. It's the old EX Power Keepers book. Man, that's old. 2007. Yeah, this book is almost 10 years old. That's crazy to think about. And because of that, you know, it all boiled down to me eventually just trying out this YouTube thing. Now, it was Minecraft at first, and then I started integrating the Pokemon with X and Y, and it suddenly started paying the bills. And now, I really do have to say that that is the craziest thing I've ever done. I had 3 jobs. I was working 3 jobs. I was working myself to death. Like, I was just grinding. I was always tired. I'm still always tired now, but it's a lot more fun to be tired when you're only playing Pokemon and stuff. So, because of that, working so much, and then, like, I just decided to quit all my jobs. I had a couple $1,000s saved up. I'm like, you know what? Give myself 3 months. If I don't make a living off of this in 3 months, I guess it's back to the grind. But I took a risk. I didn't know if I was going to get those jobs back. You know, I just kind of left one day. I was like, hey, I'm going to try this YouTube thing. I know I've been talking about, I'm sorry, I don't want to work for you anymore. It's hard work, you know, kind of idea. And I think that that's kind of where it boils down to. I just went on this super long story about how I worked for days to try to perfect the Yokon, which is something I've never had before. And I was trying to understand just for a random Pokemon episode. And now I simplified, like, put all my jobs for YouTube. That's obviously the craziest thing I've ever done when it comes to Pokemon. But I've talked about this many times before. Random videos. I draw my life. When I was talking about the going through the Pokemon 20th anniversary timeline, that's kind of it. Like, I've lived my entire life in Pokemon, and now, like, I don't think we can get a really good thing. But if I take the camera, you see boxes. I'm moving. I might actually be moved in my house when this actually is finished. So I don't know how it's going to break down. But anyways, my boxes. I'm getting another look at everything I own in my life, and it's all Pokemon. Like, I'm looking at the volume, 80% volume-wise, because like a lot of Pokemon plushes and shirts and cards and stuff is Pokemon. Then I have like my computer, and half of my wardrobe is Pokemon anyway. So I don't own a lot of not Pokemon stuff, and like it's just crazy. Like I would think that my entire life is just a representation of how crazy I am when it comes to Pokemon. So I think that that's one of the coolest things. Like, so what have you done? Do you live a crazier, more collective style life? Do you actually like think that, you know, it's just a moderate appreciation? You've done some fun things, but nothing outrageous. Any kind of crazy grinds, any kind of runs, purchases? You know, I want to hear about that. I want to see what you guys are up to. So if you guys enjoyed this video, hope you guys enjoyed my random ramblings and enjoyment of stuff I need to get more of when I run back down to the Asian supermarket. And I hope you all have a nice day. So thank you very much for watching.